Welcome to Dwarven Forge Live. This is On the Anvil, episode 117. This is a show where we take you behind the scenes here at Dwarven Forge. We show you what we're working on, we show you some of the challenges we're facing, and we may just give you a glimpse of things to come. And tonight we're going to actually do all of that because we're going to show you our preview of our upcoming, Wildlands Reforged. We're going to do a reorder campaign on GameFound, so we're going to show you kind of the compositions we've been pushing around, what's to come, some of the challenges with it, and we love your feedback. So, I forgot what we were supposed to do in the beginning. I don't know, something about eating a beverage.
Yeah, we're eating glass.
This is the show where we never mess up.
It's the show where we eat glass. You guys look well rested.
I feel very well rested.
Okay, that's good.
Oh. Even though the cat pooped on the bed and I didn't actually rest well, but I feel emotionally well rested.
Yeah, great. Okay.
Cat ever do that?
No, I haven't had that experience. Yeah, so as you said, the main thing we're doing today is we're going over our Wildlands reorder campaign that we're going to try out on GameFound, shooting for August. We've been working pretty hard on that the last week or so because, in theory, it's like a little over 2 months away. So we're trying to figure stuff out as quickly as possible. So we're going to go over all that. Yeah. And about an hour into it, we're going to give away a $50 gift card for the Dwarven Forge online store. That is
who's eligible for that, Chris?
Everyone, everybody, everyone.
You have to have a pulse.
Yes.
Anybody
alive. Yeah.
So join us, hang out, enjoy your own frosty beverage. Please feel free to jump into the chat. I mean, you're obviously welcome to lurk, but we love the interactions. That is why we're here. We love to hear your feedback. We'd love some feedback on this lineup that we have tonight. So jump in, just be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any new people here tonight?
I saw a couple. Let's see. I'm doing some stuff because I realized there was a couple things I forgot to do before we
I think Matt's
today.
Here.
Why do you have the Matt's here? There? Oh, just for walking around.
I need a mat. Speaking of mats, I needed a mat. Yeah.
Man, everybody's getting on us saying that we're like...
Once you get over 40, you can't stand on concrete all day long. You need, like, legs.
We're getting called out for saying that the undead can't participate. So.
Okay, listen. If you are undead and you're watching, we're going to have a special gift certificate just for undead.
Anybody capable of typing?
If you can prove that you're undead, we have a special gift card for you.
Yeah,
we love
that giveaway is going to be happening in the ethereal plane, so if you're able to access that.
Type it in our ethereal Twitch. So that
Yeah. All right.
Only visible to non-corporeal beings.
Are you having fun with your dagger?
Every day.
Yeah, cool.
Mostly stream days.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's get it going, yeah?
Yeah. What do we... Wait. Quick aside. Do we have any news?
Not a lot. That's what I've been thinking of the last couple minutes. I was like, oh yeah, we've got to talk about this. Not a ton going on. Let's do it. Let's do the thing real quick so you can have fun. Let's do your thing.
There's no news though. News.
The pledge manager is going. That's the big thing. Our last Kickstarter.
So we do have news.
We do have some news.
So we should do. Okay, wait.
You want me to do it again?
All right. We have. It's the news. It's the news. News. It's the news, Chris.
The pledge manager.
What's in the news for you?
So the pledge manager for our last Kickstarter, Cities Untold Lowtown, is going right now. We're taking late pledges, so if you want to be a part of it and you miss a chance, just go ahead and go to. Oh, I hope that's the right link.
You can go to dwarvenforge.com/cities, and there's a link right there that'll send you. Or there's probably a better one. Is there anybody here watching that did not back Lowtown? And if so, let us know why.
Yeah.
How do we convert you?
Pledge manager is open until June 2nd, so there's a couple weeks left to get in on that. If you haven't, it's going to be the lowest prices we're going to have on those sets. You'll be the first ones to get it. That is still open if you want it. So far, it seems to be going pretty well. We haven't been having a lot of people trying to figure things out, which is nice because it's a complicated offer. So I'm glad that people are understanding it.
You know what?
It's the most complicated stuff that's ever been.
Discord is is an amazing wealth of information. We've got some wonderful spreadsheets, Randy's spreadsheets, Tyler's spreadsheet. We got all sorts of spreadsheets. We got a microsite. We got videos. We have a lot of materials to support you.
Mm-hmm.
And June 2nd, you got to finish your order up by June 2nd if you want your stuff. Because we need your address. We need to know what you want.
Hey, Nate, do you happen to have a coaster by you? There you go.
It's totally on the coaster the whole time.
Perfect. Let's see. Is there anything else going on? Broken Anvil's got their paint Kickstarter going. It's got 6 days left.
Oh, yeah.
Broken Anvil does minis, friends of ours. And they're doing a paint line that is actually, like, they have, like, nicely divided by, like, tone, like warm tones and stuff like that. It seems like a very well organized.
$130 for all 40 paints or something. Which
yes,
is
it's a very good price.
And they're doing some free minis. So they're giving out free minis to people, and they're gonna have tutorial videos. It's pretty cool, and they're great folks, and I don't know, it seems
cute. So check that out if you've been looking for some paints. If you're trying to get into mini painting, say you're building your first Warhammer army, or if you are an avid painter and you just like to try out a bunch of different materials. Trying to decide if you need the dangle room and tower extension. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although if you only have room in your budget for one thing, just get the dangle room.
Yes.
Like I don't think you will use the tower extensions as much as you think, because a 4-story dangle tower is a lot. Mm-hmm. If you had 2 dangle rooms, then maybe you could think of an extension, because then you could have 2 3s or whatever. But definitely get the dangle room. That thing that's like one of the signature pieces of Lowtown. Mm-hmm. Like that thing is like, when I think of Lowtown, I think of the dangle.
Because of the nature of doing like a city thing, we had all this geometry that we needed to cover in like there's so many like basic building block pieces. There weren't a ton of like big showy pieces, but the dangle room is like one of those things that is just such unique geometry. It really is like a nice looking.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and you can throw it off of your Tudor building. You can do number of.
Throw it off your Tudor building.
Yeah, that's probably the phrasing for it. Yeah.
Definitely get the dangle room.
Yeah, dangle room is probably
and make sure
you
have a diagonal wall packed so it has a thing to go into. It looks good. It's a natural habitat. Mm-hmm. And the roof.
Yes.
You need the wizard hat roof too if you want the full experience.
I think that's basically it. We don't got reserve release list is up on the site. We're doing a reserve release on June 14th. Ton of stuff in there, like over 100 sets. There's going to be only a handful of them. It's different from our standard restocks in that sense. Standard restocks, we got hundreds of those, so you don't got to worry about them running out. Reserve release, it's us clearing out like some sets that are stuck in the corners of the warehouse, basically. So it's the last chance to get some of those sets.
Yeah, we're going to clear a lot of those out, retire them.
Yeah, that's the thing, is we're trying to clear out like the last bits of like a lot of these things where it's like we're never going to restock like this set.
But here's the thing, don't be totally dismayed if you can't get the set that you're dying for. We are working on getting as many of these pieces into print as we can. Like a lot of the set configurations we can't do, but we're trying to not retire any pieces that make sense. Like if we can get, we're working, chipping away. I know Chris has been like pushing forward, like getting all the right pieces and sets. So
I'm talking, Smart. I'm talking like up to 10 at most of things. Usually not that much.
Usually like 5.
Yeah, it really depends on like what it is, because what this is it's sets that we always hold on to some. We always hold some sets in reserve in case we got to do a replacement for somebody or something like that. And then when it's been so long, like if we haven't sold any in like 6 months, the odds that somebody's going to ask for a replacement on that set at that point super low. So it's like, cool, let's just free this up, get rid of it.
Yep.
But yeah, like you said,
Hunger Games.
The thing that's particularly to note here is the Caverns Deep like adventure packs. Basically, we get requests for those a lot because that's where a lot of the chase pieces from that Kickstarter are. It's where a lot of like the special sculpts that got unlocked went. But the compositions they're in are not feasible for us to restock because they got a lot of weird stuff in them. So we're retiring those sets, but the special pieces that are in there, we're working on breaking out into other packs, so they'll still be available, just not in that configuration.
Round them up into dressing packs and stuff that makes sense.
Is there a list of pieces that have been retired? Cool. There's a retired tag on the web store, I believe, where you can see all that stuff.
Also,
but if you want to see the list,
the set and piece database may, I don't know if it says.
I know that we have a tag for retired.
Yeah. If it's
so
made out of resin, it's retired.
Yeah. It's somewhere in there. We had some sort of way to access the retired stuff. But if you want to see what's coming in the reserve release on June 14th, which is Flag Day, which I think is the only reason we picked it, it's like this is a significant day in June.
Best way to celebrate Flag Day that I could think of.
Yeah.
Right?
Check the restock tab on the top. Is it retired or is it list packs as unavailable? I'm pretty sure there was a retired tag that would be over them.
Eric has certainly been working on the retired project for a while. I don't know what state it's in, but yes.
Yes.
Trying to clear out, we have so many out-of-stock sets on the site, trying to clear out stuff that's never going to come back.
But the main thing, when it comes to, like, pieces being retired, I would say, like, no pieces are retired except for, like, the resin and, like, like, Kickstarter exclusive stuff like marble paint.
There's some KS1 things that we're retiring.
But with those, it's usually because, like, we resculpted them later.
There's a new version or a replacement that makes sense.
Yeah.
Some of the KS2, some of the original caverns.
But odds are, if there's a very cool piece they haven't seen in a long time that hasn't shown up, usually most of those are in Caverns Deep Adventure packs. Yeah. Mostly.
Oh, there's so much cool, weird, specific stuff in Caverns Deep.
Yeah. So like we're actively working on like the Runic Column, the Mother of All Mushrooms, stuff like that, trying to break that out and get it in. We're having a lot of these things that haven't been available for a long time. Are coming in July our July and October restocks. We're freeing up a lot of those pieces. What's the difference between sold out versus unavailable? I have no idea. I don't know what's going on there. If that's what happened now, I wasn't told anything about that.
It requires some secret
changed
detective work. If you can figure it out, you can find the secret room.
It's possible he changed the way that retired shows without saying anything to anybody. If that's the case, I don't know. But yeah.
Jade's not coming back.
CLK, we're not going to be converting everything into the biscuit system.
Oh man, we'd have to retool every single mold. Can't do it.
Yeah, it would take a phenomenally long time. It would increase the prices on everything because for a lot of those we have like grandfathered prices.
Also, some of them don't need like the basic dungeon pieces fundamentally don't need the biscuit system for how you build, particularly if you're building on terrain trays or whatever.
Yeah.
That being said, when we take a foray back into the dungeon, we could do a cool dungeon elevation set that has biscuits that is designed for doing some of that stuff, right? But our fundamental, because it adds to the price, putting biscuits.
I don't know why.
We want the bread and butter just to be clean in what it is, and then you can have some cool specialty pieces for going up and doing cool Z-axis stuff.
Yeah. So. Yeah, we're not going to... Biscuits were a very specific thing for cities because the whole point is buildings have multiple stories, and we wanted a way to do that more easily. Okay.
And the basics, the City Builder basics pieces, which are basically dungeon pieces, have the biscuits because we wanted to extend that system, be able to do cool... It lets you do cool mezzanines and balconies and, interface with the rest of the system biscuited for doing neat stuff.
It makes them a lot more functional.
Yeah. They're
right.
It's really fun to interweave them all and whatnot.
So, speaking of our efforts to make things more available in the store, these Wildlands reconfigs, I think we're pretty officially calling it Wildlands Reforged now.
That was a viewer suggestion.
It was a viewer suggestion, and our general thought is, if this goes well, we can do it more in the future, and we'll just kind of have Reforged as like the label for when we do stuff like this.
Deep Reforged.
Yeah. Ho, ho.
Wow. Save.
Yeah, I played baseball. So
not true.
Yeah. We don't know the dates for the other restocks. They're too far away. GameFound, we don't have exact... So this campaign, we want to launch it...
Caverns.
We really want to launch it like super beginning of August so that it's live during Gen Con. It depends on if we can get it ready in time. Like currently... So...
on paper, we're dead on.
On paper, it looks great, but we got to run it by the factory. We got to run it... So we're still doing some stuff. We just started work on this. Basically, yesterday... Yesterday we had a big meeting to like nail down like what do we want to offer, what do we want to be the stretch goals, all that stuff. And now we're running that by Jay, we're running it by the factory. We're making sure that there's no reason why we can't do it this way.
Run it by the team, make sure it all makes sense.
Yeah, because we're trying to get all this stuff nailed down super quick so that we can make all the videos, make all the graphics, make all the stuff that we need with plenty of room for comfort instead of crunching for it. Because this is supposed to be lower stress.
And I'll tell you what, you guys, like a bunch of the feedback we got, we were talking about this, I don't know, last week or the week before or something on there. It's like it's been helpful driving some of our decision making already. So we appreciate that.
Yes. So the general idea, we had a couple issues that we wanted to resolve. One is Wildlands is in super high demand, and we have almost none of it in the store. And
I mean, that's
the biggest one.
That's the issue, all caps.
To get all of it in stock would take several restock cycles because of how many sets we would want to get in.
Yes. And
so
they're expensive, and it's like
So it would take us like a year of like ordering those at our normal restock pace. It would basically take us all year to like get that collection back in. We wanted to try out GameFound and see what that platform is like. We think that it has a lot of tools that will be more useful for the way that we run campaigns.
It certainly already seems awesome.
So we want to check that out. And I think there was something else too. But so it basically pointed towards and we needed to reconfigure some sets where it was like in the Kickstarter we just kind of put these together in a way that doesn't quite make sense for the store. And so we wanted a way to kind of help fund making those new sets, making those changes.
And people have been asking for a pre-order option for ages. So we're just it sort of just checks a lot of boxes for us.
Yes. Yeah. So general goal is running a thing on GameFound. It'll be a much lower key thing than our usual like campaigns we've done on Kickstarter because no new pieces, just some new configurations, no like big huge wild reveals. We don't think.
No. No.
Yeah, and essentially, it's basically giving you guys a chance to pre-order on the restock and also inform us how big this restock should be, basically. Because the goal is we want to order enough to fill up the store, without all of it disappearing immediately on day one and us having to then like reorder it again.
Like the last time Wildlands hit the store.
The last time Wildlands hit the store, it was all gone like immediately.
Yeah.
So this way we can get everybody's orders in here and then also put enough into the order to stock the store well afterwards. Yeah. Delivery will probably be very early 2024 is like what we're picturing because it's basically just going through a standard restock cycle, but a bit bigger.
We have to see what what our window is before Lowtown is in full production. Like we kind of have to sneak it in before Lowtown goes into full production. Yeah. So we see what the timeline is.
Which is why we're running it by the factory now, because in our head, we can have them produce this while they're making the molds for Lowtown and get that stuff ready.
They've got like 6 months of tooling to do it. Like Lowtown is going to be an adventure. So like, ideally we get this in and done and boom, and then they go into right out of that into Lowtown.
We're trying to move into a direction where we're having like more constant projects and we're basically using everything the factory can do at once. Yep. So like while the mold making part of the factory is doing Lowtown, they can be actively producing other stuff. So trying to keep them like constantly busy.
Ideally if this works, we can make this twice a year or something we do a pre-order like this for some cool collection of sets or whatever this would become a regular thing.
This would let us tackle some of like the things we wanted to do, like maybe a slight Burrows expansion and remaster, the dungeon reconfigs we talked about.
We can sneak in a couple new pieces or something like
Anytime we want to do something where it's like this doesn't feel like it's big enough for a whole like massive campaign, but like it's more than just a normal restock.
And the goal is to not make it a massive campaign, right? The goal is just try and make it a thing we can just sort of do sustainably while we're pushing out whatever the next massive campaign is.
And so the basic idea is we want to offer all the bread and butter for sure, and then based on how many people are showing up, based on how much funding we're getting, the more funding we get in it, the larger we can make the restock, the larger we can make that order. So we're planning to have stretch goals of other packs that aren't bread and butter from the campaign. So basically, the more people show up, the more we're like, okay, like we're making money on this. We've got like other sets that we want to then unlock after a bit.
Caveat: this is concept still. We haven't actually made sure we can do this. That's the concept right now.
Yeah, this is in our head currently. This is still needing to run it by a couple places.
This is we have to actually make sure it all is feasible, and we haven't actually run through on paper. But that's conceptually the idea is we start with a great collection of sets, and then if we get enough momentum, we can add some more unlock some more other options.
Yeah. So this isn't going to be like our Kickstarter campaigns in a number of ways. We're not going to have like stretch goal packs that you get for things. Our stretch goals will be like unlocking more options to select from for the restock. Like, hey, maybe we can, like, at least what we're shooting for in concept. Like, hey, you know what? Enough support showed up. We think we actually can reorder the Oblivion Nexus as well, or stuff like that.
Yep.
So that's our general approach for this right now. And we're also playing around with some other potential ideas.
Hey, Big Jim, no ruins in this because guess what? Anybody guess why? Anybody guess why?
We had already ordered them. All of the rune sets are already coming to the store in October.
Past us was already ahead of future.
So like the ruins and Titan's Tooth, we already have coming in. So like we don't need to have them in this campaign. They're already going to be there.
How awesome is that?
Yeah.
So you can get some of the stuff in the campaign, get those while you wait for this other stuff to show up, then get the stuff, and then you boom.
Yeah.
Damn. It's like Bill and Ted's when they go into the future and they leave the keys for themselves and like
yeah. Depending on how it looks, we might do a thing where we're gonna check with GameFound. It's because GameFound was saying they have like some storefront stuff they're trying to do, so we might make it so there's a couple things that are in stock in the store that we might be able to include or something. We'll look at it. Hey, which one of you is Ted? I don't know what he's responding to, so I'm completely missing the reference.
Bill and Ted.
Oh, did you do a Bill and Ted
thing? I think I'm the Keanu Reeves, and you're the
you think
blonde
I'd be...
dude.
Woof. The blonde dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like he contributed a lot to comedy either.
Yeah. I mean, his name is famous. Everybody knows.
Oh yeah, what was that name?
The blonde dude.
What was that name?
I have no idea. If you said, I'll give you $1 million if you could tell me what his name is. Nope.
Unbelievable.
Do you know his name?
Yeah.
Oh, darn it. Yeah. Okay, fine. Hey, Chat, what's his name?
Alex is rolling in his grave. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Anybody just
I'd rather runes return with an expansion and stuff cut from Wildlands instead anyway. So the runes are already coming back. Like, that's the thing. But if we did so the reason we aren't including like cut sculpts or anything, we floated the idea for a bit. If we had to make new molds, we'd have to wait to deliver on this until like after Lowtown, basically, because they got to prioritize making the Lowtown molds. No new pieces, because we can't make any new molds. Otherwise, it would severely delay delivering this thing.
That doesn't mean in the future we can't in this sort of a thing, but this is the right where we're trying basically just keep this as minimal impact as possible so we can run it and see what we learn.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Alex Winter. Mm-hmm. That's, I totally just remembered
Oh, you just remembered off the top of your head?
Yeah, no, it was
oh, funny. Austin Abridge also just remembered, it seems.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
I love all of the things he's been in.
Cool.
Like Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. And
then the
Winter of Our Discontent.
The next Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
The Alex Winter of Our Discontent. Alex Winter's Tale.
Yeah. Alex Winter's Bone.
Alex Winter's Bone.
Yeah, that one.
We can't talk. We can't talk.
We can't talk. Dark.
We can't talk about that one on here.
All right, so let's look at some of these sets.
Do we want to start with? So
man, Teos really set me up for a fall. No.
So the impetus for doing this, I think we should start with the escarpments. Because the impetus for doing this was us saying like we really need to reconfigure the escarpment collection. So let's go over what we ended up doing there. Oh, that camera died. There we go. All right, so Tyler and I, like a month ago, we went through the escarpment collection. We looked at what we had. We reconfigured, I would say, roughly about half of it, with the goal of having it be made up of sub $100 packs. I think some of them are like just about to touch 100, where everything is broken down into pretty specific use cases. And you can grab any one of those collections and it will mix with another one of the sets, and you can just kind of, and what we're going to demonstrate here is just them kind of how you can grab one pack and then another pack and they'll combine together, basically, is the general idea.
The idea is they can theoretically build a thing or something, there's like, or pretty quickly easily build a thing without having to get too many packs or trying to do a whole bunch of spreadsheet foo to figure out what you need to do a thing.
Oh, new configs. Yes, please. Can we get fewer caves? If you're talking about the concave, one of the big things we did was we actually did remove it from the basic builder. The basic builder has been slightly reworked. You can see it in the bottom right. The basic builder is 2 of the short straights and 2 of the short curves. Concave curves? Convex curves? That's convex.
Convex.
That's
convex. Concave is a cave, is the easy way to remember.
Yes. So basically, the concave is kind of just going to be in like the concave pack. So if you want the concave, you can just go buy the concave.
All right, so we got a Get that one. Let's see,
the advanced builder is actually staying the same. You can see that on the right side of the screen there.
Wait, didn't we take something out of the advanced builder? I think.
No, the advanced builder.
Okay. I saw this weird trues and false stuff on Tyler's sheet, but
maybe there's like a small thing, but like the core of it being like the 2 end caps and 2 1x3s, we're like that's actually very solid.
So we got this right. Basic builders, 2 short straights, two of these guys. So you can the convexes, right? You can that sort of thing. The advanced builders, the ever popular 1x3s, the little MVP of Wildlands. Each of these MCATs, which these things, by the way, I use, these things are like my favorite. The way they break up the style of
the advanced builder is basically all the pieces that are good for like when you need to make like a little adjustment to make things build cleanly.
Little guys, you can build that up. So then you can just pop these together and boom, you have a cool little hummock. Or you can
also put both of them on like the edge of the map to make a little feature as well.
Right, if you split, like if you were doing a map, you had this one here and this one here. Edge of your thing. Thing in between. Right, good fun. Just the things you're gonna need. Like you can never have enough of these pieces. Like you could order 10 of these and still not have enough.
I think the advanced builder is the cheapest one of the packs.
Is that a selling point?
I think so.
Okay.
It's one of the things we're really gonna try to.
You don't have enough.
It's one of the things we're really gonna try to lean into. Is like literally getting just one of these packs will do something.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got. Oh, and then the other little boys. We got the concaves, right? Are going to be in a 2-pack, and it'll have a floor, a plug, and a cave. And for anybody that hasn't seen, so if you're not familiar with the cleverly named concave, so what's fun about this thing is, I guess it makes you can make like a cool tunnel, right? You put it in. Yeah, I don't know why this is. They loosened them up, and now it's like popping wheelies. So like this guy can, right, you can put it in line and make a fun little cave. If you want to, if you were building on like against the water, I should have gotten this. Oh, maybe the train tray over here. Do I have a?
We might have actually just put all the terrain trays away when we were cleaning.
No. God, I hate when we clean.
I hate when we clean and I can't find anything.
Yeah, it's so much easier when I have a visual reminder because it's just scattered everywhere. Here, pretend you're building on a, pretend you're building in some necrotic sludge, because who doesn't want to do that, right? You do. If you were building online here, you can put the floor in there, and then if I had one of the little ledges or something, you don't need the ledge, but you can. Then now it's like a landing. You can then get in there and go in and go to your on your adventure, right? Go into your tunnels, or whatever. Or if you're using this as a starting point, then on the inside. You can build out your caves or whatever, and this lines up with the cave floors, and you can just be continuous. Like use this as the entrance, and then go boom, boom, boom. Go to build into your caves with it. It also has paired pegs on there, so you can attach the bridge, or we didn't get the Crag's bridge. We gotta get the peg. So you can put the bridge or any of the things onto it. So you can build this like up on the second story, and then put the bridge on, and it's like a cool way to get into a cave on the side of a building. Very much Caves of Chaos style or whatever, right? You can have a bunch of these little caves and whatnot. So anyway, so there's that thing. You have the plug, so you can plug it up if you want and just make it solid. You can put the plug, it fits on either side. So you can also just now, like it's a little dead end cave, so you can put a little treasure, put a little something in there, make it just an actual little cave rather than like a tunnel in. And of course it works as a concave corner, right? So these sides are rounded, so you can do boom, 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 boom. So you can use it if you're building in line with escarpments. You need to do a concave. Also, if you just need to have, if you need to if you're doing a big build and you want to just have a raised area, it's a quick way to have a raised 3x3. So the concave is like probably the most useful, like utility piece in the escarpment lineup. Like I love this thing and use a lot of them. All right, so we got those. We got a pack of those. Those are the little boys, right? Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
All right, then let's get to the big beefy.
The big
boys.
escarpments. We did a little bit of reworking here. It's actually very simple, honestly. It's basically just
it doesn't have to be complicated.
Each of the 3 big ones we just put in a 2-pack. basically.
We got to put something else in a couple of these. Maybe there's a branch holder or something, or a
Sure.
like they want a little spingle, right? Like this guy might want a little stepped crag or something. We have a suspended perch. We could put those real nice with these. They convex up in there, but So fundamentally, it's gonna have two of the big. Oh, we must have. I can make two of the big old curves.
You gotta stop smacking the table so loud.
Two of the big concaves, and two of the big straights. And that was one of the things, right? People were asking for in the Kickstarter. They're like, man, I just want to get more of those big, chunky ones. And so now you can.
Because I think with one of these, it also had like a concave in with it.
Yeah.
And it was like, we just removed the concave from it. And it's like, if what you're looking for is the big escarpments, let's just make these available in 2-packs. Yeah.
Yeah, I love these. These also just building with these big escarpments they are so satisfying. Really,
Gandolfin, we're not going to include the stilts in the packs, but we are planning to reprint the stilts in the campaign.
Yes. Because sometimes you don't, depending on how you're building, you might not need stilts.
Yeah, some people are going to want a ton of stilts, some people aren't going to want any, so we're just going to make it its own thing. They're cheap.
Honestly,
they're cheap to add on. So
most people should have a bunch of stilts. They probably don't realize how many stilts they need, but you don't have to buy them.
Particularly when you're doing big mountain builds, I think that's where the stilts are the most useful.
Yeah. I'm never not using stilts. Yeah. All right, so that's those are the basics and escarpments. We'll also have the mountain floors. Let me get the
one thing. So a couple people have asked. Another thing that we're doing is we are not reprinting the mega packs. Instead, what we're planning to do is follow like the kind of line that we've been taking lately, which has been making bundles out of component sets. So we're thinking about offering a mega pack style thing that is basically just get like every escarpment pack with like at a discount or something, instead of us reprinting a whole composition just for the mega pack thing. We don't know exactly what that'll look like yet, but yeah. So we're not. So the mega packs we're going to retire just because we can't rely on ordering 400 of those and.
But we create it as a bundle.
Yeah. Instead we're going to make bundles that are similar to what those were. And the winding stairs we are going to reprint as well.
Oh yeah. Where did that go?
The winding stairs pack is also coming back. Yes.
Good call.
Yeah.
These guys. Yeah.
Will there be any discount for reforging rather than buying from the store? We're still working out what that looks like. We want to offer some kind of incentive or some kind of reward for doing this, but we're not entirely sure what that looks like yet.
Yeah. These are fun. These stairs. Use them a lot.
Hidden Cave getting restocked? Oh, the Caves pack, yes.
Or
we're talking about whether we're doing it?
Yeah,
we're talking about whether
it's like on the fence if we so here's for sure, we're not sure what level of scope we can do on this yet. So that the hidey hole escarpment in that cave pack is one of the ones that's like on the iffy list.
Also, if something doesn't make it into this campaign, it's likely it'll be like, okay, we'll get that in the next restock or something, as opposed to we're never bringing it back. Yeah. What about waterfalls? Oh, waterfalls. Yes.
Yeah, those two.
Yeah, the deluxe waterfall pack. We're gonna cut that smaller waterfall pack because
you just
the
need
deluxe waterfall pack just gives you everything you actually need.
Deluxe.
So we're gonna keep the deluxe waterfall pack as like the way to get waterfalls, and we're gonna reprint that as well in this campaign.
Craig's Bridge will be in there, which is both these crags. This bridge. There might be a small spingle or something in here. I don't know what. And I don't remember which topper.
Does it get a rope climb or something? It's really the building parts that really matter for this right now.
Yeah. It's got some sort of stump topper. I think it's got some little something. Maybe it's a suspended perch. The wood defa. But yeah, this is also just a fun, right? Everybody this bridge piece is super fun. These crags. These crags I use a lot, particularly.
It does have a rope apparently. Okay.
There you go. And some branches.
It's branches.
Fun. Cool. It's a cool pack. Excited. You can use it as a dumbbell. I only put one peg in, so it's rotating. Do people still use dumbbells? It's the kettlebells now,
right? I think it might be.
It's cowbells.
Yeah.
It's all cowbells. So that's the.
Is it the whole mountain?
Mountain lineup.
Oh, that's not all the mountain. Driftstones and Wyverstone.
Okay, so take 4. That's all the mountain except for the other mountain pieces.
Like half of the sets are mountain sets, honestly. It's a... Oh, and God, we'll talk about the ledges too. I think the ledges.
Oh, okay.
The ledges are a weird in-between thing where it's like it's not exactly mountain.
They're transitional.
Yeah. But the ledges are coming back too. Yeah.
So we got a little Wyverstone scatter. It's got this boy, and the 4 little boys. This was the.
Isn't
I
there
can't
also
remember the names of all these.
Where's the teardrop one?
Oh, I forgot the step guys in there too.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. No, he's. I stand him in.
Grinning Fool. The one that we're bringing back is the deluxe,
Where the heck?
like Majestic Waterfall was like the name for both packs, but we're bringing back the deluxe, but not the smaller one.
So this guy's in there too. Yeah. Got a little family, and then also our Driftstone family, what's fun about these guys. Of course, I don't have the bases. I couldn't find them. I don't know where Tyler hides them. I still don't fully understand the logic of the archives. I'm getting some of it, but I think
with Wildlands, he wasn't able to really put as much time. He was running out of space. He was running out of space, which didn't help. And then also, when it arrived, like he was having to go really hard into Lowtown.
But what's fun about these is they have the holes in the bottom, and we have some bases. So I have those freestanding rods. I don't know where the actual clear flight stands are, but so you can do these fun suspended bits. And they have side holes, so you can do lateral attachments too, and they're really fun. Yeah. So we get a Driftstone pack, which should be spicy, right? You can just do all sorts of fun, suspended, jumpy madness, and also just good as scatter, right? And they go through that. So I think that. Oh yeah, except for the trifectas, right?
Yeah, Dragos. The deluxe waterfall pack does still have the cutout escarpment, because a lot of people struggle with figuring out how to use the waterfalls without it, and like the cutout escarpment really just makes it more flexible.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's better to just have the thing available where you can get everything.
Yes.
Also, mountain floors. Oh God, yeah.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. The mountain floor pack. We're not having to reconfigure those. Those are just coming back as they were. I think the ledges were also keeping the same.
Yeah, I don't know where these. I think there's a pack of 2 of these boys. There's a pack. I don't know what the pack is. I don't know. I think it's got 2 of everything, but maybe there are 3 packs. And it's got. That's right. It's got each flavor, right? So there's a there's a concaves, right? There's a concaves pack. It has all these guys in forest flavor and mountain flavor. There's the convexes pack. I think it's got all.
We're basically keeping with the setup
because we were straight boys.
We were talking about like it's like, do we need to split up Forest Mountain? And I think we were at the point where we're just like,
put it all together.
The odds that somebody is going to need just the mountain or just the forest, and that they simply won't have any other use for it. Like if you're using trifecta ledges, you're probably mixing biomes at some point.
And also you can often use them. You can crisscross the streams a little bit. Some of them, particularly like the straight, like you can use the straight forest or the straight mountain almost interchangeably. So these are, in case you're not familiar with the trifectas, they let you take these ledges. So you've got your big old escarpment here. You can take the corresponding concave. It nestles up there, and now you can build in line with your floors. Of course, I don't have any floors here. Oh wait, I can do it with the forest. So if you want to transition it down to your forest floor, throw the forest there, and then throw something like this. Against it, and boom! Now you're building a forest. And similarly, you can use these to transit. You can use them to make rivers or transition down a level or whatnot. You'd be surprised actually how often you end up using these little trifectas, right?
There's a lot they can do, yeah.
Imagine this was all sort of covered up. You can use them to make rivers and ponds and whatnots, as well as transition down and up and it's got the straights have these transitions which get you out to go from banks to trifecta ledges, so you can then use your ledges in line with the rest of the banks to give you more negative space options. They're kind of funny looking, and they are super useful. Like you'll end up using them a lot when you start to, particularly if you're mixing biomes. Like they're the great connector.
Estelle, the Aranthor Cliff expansion is basically the one thing we aren't doing. We were thinking about it, and because we're not reprinting like the original Aranthor Cliffs in this, we were thinking the Cliff expansion makes sense for us to just do in a different restock.
Well, it's an easy one to. They're small,
it's like 2 packs.
High multiple pieces. Yeah. They're easy to do in a regular restock. These are these big chunky boys. These are harder to do. I think so.
Yeah. So because so the Aranthor Cliff expansion we were looking at, and we're like, this is easy for us to just squeeze into a regular restock after. So
you can also use the straight trifecta ledges, one to level it out, then one out there to make it irregular, to make little banks at the bottom before you go down to the water and stuff. They are nifty little guys. I use them a lot. It's sort of a gag if you're connecting to banks or do that sort of thing. Let's do it with the forest. Yeah. And they're the packs are, it's basically 2 ofs, so they match up to the other packs, the big escarpment packs. Mm-hmm. So it gives you lots of options.
And because we kept those big escarpments in 2 packs, it made it actually line up with the existing Ledges packs really well. So that was another reason for doing it this way. Was that way we don't have to reconfigure the Ledges. No plan in changing paint schemes.
No.
We're not planning to change paint schemes. Yeah, the only paint scheme change that had happened before was the initial print of Dread Hollow from KS6 was on a different paint scheme, and the factory simply was not able to do it consistently, so we had to change to a more simplified version. But we haven't changed anything since then.
And honestly, I like the simplified version better because it's less busy. Well, A, it's consistent, so you're going to get a thing that always matches. And B, it's less busy. It helps your minis pop better. And it's easy enough to go in and pop in if you want to pop a couple of colored leaves and whatever. You can plus it up a little bit, but we actually get the same results every time, every batch. So that was the big reason.
Well, and the tough thing is when you're talking about something being hand painted by different people at different times, like there's always going to be variation. Like there's simply no way that we can guarantee everything will be a perfect match.
There were so many steps with so many different colors. Yeah. So it was just all over the place. You got macaroni leaves and
the problem was that initial Dread Hollow run was just so inconsistent. It was like so ridiculously bad that it was.
And what's frustrating is there were some good batches, right? There's some good batches out there that look really great, and then there's some really bad batches out there. Like that's what's, because some people if you looked at, you got some of the good ones. Like there's some very nice looking OG Dread Hollow paint out there, and there's also some just like, it just makes like Erin's eyes bleed when she looks at it. Like there's some it's all over the place and everything in between. So it's tough.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like we didn't change it just because he likes it more. We changed it because we had to.
Yeah. I didn't want to change it at all. I was totally against it. But then once we did, I'm like, you know what? Actually, this reason when you're doing a big scene and whatever, I'm like, this is cleaner. It's easier, and it's consistent. That's the big drivers. It's just like it wasn't a choice. Like we were just this is not repeatable. Like it was all over the place. Like we couldn't sell it in good conscience.
Is that all the mountain stuff?
I think so.
Mountain takes up a ton of it.
Yeah, because you know what? It's probably the most impressive stuff.
Yeah.
Like being able to go vertical and do all of this, do a lot of fun building. The escarpments are just, every excuse I have to use them, I will use them. Oh, we didn't show this guy. Right, because they're just, they just are so impressive, right? It makes your build look, I don't know.
The scale thing
and 3D. That's what it is, right? Because there's vertical, so it's just something like, okay, now there's a reason we're playing with it.
The scale difference is really less about. So the outdoor-indoor scale is honestly the difference is very small. It's like less than a millimeter or something.
It's about a half a millimeter.
Yeah, it's like half a millimeter difference. So in that sense, like it's generally not an issue. But mixing escarpments with caverns is going to be rough, mostly because they're on a different footprint. Caverns are on like a 2x2.
It depends on what you're trying to do. If you're building caverns behind them, it's not a problem.
There are ways to get clever with it, but like you've kind of got to put extra work in the first place.
Yeah, it's doable though. Like I've mixed and matched them a bunch. Fundamentally what happened was back in the olden days, Stefan made the original resin pieces exactly true 1 inch, but the resin that was used shrank a tiny bit. So all the resin pieces were just shy of, like the 2-inch tiles were just shy of 2 inches. So then when it was time to do the original KS1 dungeon tiles, it's like, if we make these true size, people aren't going to be able to mix and match, which turns out nobody was really mixing and matching. I mean, I guess some people are, but like fundamentally you weren't, the styles were so different between the Dwarvenite dungeons and the original old resin Fieldstone dungeons. It wasn't like people were mixing and matching them like in a room that was half of this, half of that, whatever. But anyway, so like the original couple of sets were matched their slightly shrunken scale of the original resin. Then we got to cities and it was like, well, we're outdoors. We might as well just make it true scale for now. And then back to dungeons. It's like, well, we're going back to dungeons. We better go back to the small thing. So there's 2 scales floating around. I mean, it's only off by 0.5 millimeter.
Yeah, and that's really the main thing. Like it.
But it's a real pain in the ass.
You have to. There are ways. In order for it to like actually show up, you basically have to do like parallel runs over an extended period of time. Yeah. So it's very rare. It's not like a drastic, like it's not like the difference between like a like 25 millimeter mini and like a 35 millimeter mini. It's nothing like that. Millimeter.
But if you do a 2-foot run, like you'll know it. But like, I don't know. I've been able to work around it all the time, and many people have.
And also, generally, your players are not going to care. Like,
no.
If there's like
your thing is off by 0.5 millimeter, you need new players.
If there's like a millimeter gap somewhere, like they can find another game if that's the.
And we can't change the past, so. But man, we could have made the sci-fi stuff like a 35 millimeter base.
No.
Okay. Well,
no. Stop pushing. No.
It would just work so much better with these big minis.
No.
Shit. All right, we got the trifectas, the escarpments. We got we're gonna put these off to the side. Just a sec. And we go to the next.
So that's generally 35 millimeter hexes. What are we don't have any special events planned for Gen Con. We're kind of just going. We haven't been asked to do anything special or anything.
No, and honestly, the less we do, the better, because
we find things to do when we're there.
It's grinding and grueling, and like I don't know. The more I don't know. We've done some big events in the past, and it's always just really makes it by the time you get through the thing. Because it's not like we're not a convention goer where you just show up for a day or two, you walk around, you buy some stuff, you say hi to your friends, you hang out forever. Like we're setting up for 3 days. We're on our feet nonstop for 4 days of the thing, and then you're breaking down. And I mean, not to mention all the planning and the prepping and the whatever. It's like it's a thing. Yeah. No events right now.
So that's mountains. Really, the only stuff in the mountain offering that we're not planning to reprint is the Cliff expansion, which we are pretty sure we're just going to cover in a restock after, and then the Oblivion Nexus, which we're going to potentially have in as like an unlock maybe.
You know what? Technically,
what's up?
This is these are mountains.
Oh, the mountain stump lumps.
Right, so these are the mountain stump lumps. So we got this pack is going to be in there.
These are reconfigs we made last year. Because we were realizing we needed to reconfig some things, so like this was something that we were able to do. And we decided to move our tree system, stump lumps and toppers, like bottoms and toppers basically, into a consistent 1 large, 2 small, like trunk size thing. And give them toppers so they still function on their own. It makes the toppers available. It makes it, and this way you can pick any toppers pack. If you're trying to make conifers, cool. You grab like the stump lumps and then a conifer toppers. Or if you want to do the swamp, you grab a stump lump pack and the swamp tree toppers, stuff like that. Boop. Does Gen Con give us enough ROI? So the main thing is we don't sell anything. We don't sell anything at conventions.
Negative.
So it's hard to track what the exact. Because like I know, like when we went to Adepticon, I know that we met 2 people there who are pretty active community members now, who like found us at Adepticon last year. But like it's hard to like track ROI through stuff like that. Because if we're not selling things directly, like it's hard to like put a number on awareness.
We go because it's a chance to see some of our diehard fans, Mm-hmm. It's a chance to see some of our friends in the industry. It's industry exposure, and it sort of feels mandatory. Like, and it's fun to see sort of what else is going on and whatever. But we're not doing a lot of events. We're not doing a lot of whatever. We're not selling anything. We're just.
I do think we can leverage it better, and Mason and I have been talking a lot about how we can leverage it better. And I think we're making really good moves in that direction. Yes. What happened to the dream of reliquary sales at cons? We ran into the sales tax issue.
Yes. We want to sell them, and they were stopping every con we go to. Reliquaries turn heads, right? People stop and go, "Oh, what's
that's where the audience for it is." Like, we were aware that when we made reliquaries, it was for an audience that was outside of our general terrain audience, and just getting them to,
maybe.
And if we and the main thing is the con is when we have the time to sell it to them.
Yeah,
and it's just
hard perfect. But or not, But mostly it's just seeing, right? It's just fun to see people. Plus, also you see new people that like have never seen it before, like just watching people's like minds get blown when they see different stuff. It's really fun. So we got conifers, which go really nicely in the mountains. I mean, all the trees go in the mountains, but these ones in particular look really good in the mountains. Both toppers and bottomers. And of course, these stump lumps go really well anywhere, be it swamp, forest, or mountain, or heck, you can put it in your dungeon for the ruins. Mm-hmm. So these guys will be there.
Sometimes you just got to go to a con and bro out. Yeah.
And bro out.
Bro out.
How do you bro out? What is the action of?
When we went to the Thai restaurant with Elderwood, that was in Unplugged last year.
You broed out.
Yeah, that was a good time.
What happens when one is broing out?
Oh man, a lot of stuff I can't repeat on air.
Whoa, that kind of. Yeah.
It was just a really fun conversation. It was just like that was a fun group of people. That was one of my favorite nights, like at Unplugged.
The Elderwood folks are. I really enjoy the Elderwood folks.
Elderwood, it's a great group of people. Yeah. Let's see. I have enough wildlands except for a few escarpments. Hey, you're in luck.
We got a whole lineup for you. Forest or swamp next? Should we ask the people?
I think swamp is most. Forest actually has changes. Let's go with forest.
Very well. Yeah. Go to the woods.
And actually, it's 7:53. But why don't we go ahead and start the word now? Since this is a pretty clean break area. What's a good word?
What do we? What's the? What do we have a running theme?
Has anything funny happened? Oh, how about Alex Winter?
Are we funny? Oof. One word.
Alex Winter, all one word.
Yeah, because that was hilarious.
Yeah, Alex.
I love. He's my favorite actor. I love all.
If you want a chance to win a $50.
That third Bill and Ted's movie.
Yeah.
Too. Did they make that yet or no?
Yes.
Yeah,
they came out like
I love that one. He
2
was
years
so good
ago, something like
that.
Yeah. If you you want a chance to win a $50 Dwarven Forge gift card, type Alex Winter in chat. It is an international giveaway.
He was in Lost Boys too.
Yes. You also read
Someone
that in
said
chat.
That.
Yes.
And what else was he?
He's done a lot of directing and stuff. He's actually done like a lot of directing and stuff. Like it's been like a big thing.
Right.
Yeah.
He's had a very successful directing career.
Yes. Let's see.
They should have teamed up with Harold and Kumar, and done Bill and Ted versus Harold and Kumar.
I feel like Bill and Ted's a little more highbrow than that.
What a highbrow! Okay.
Genuinely, like Bill and Ted, like actually is fairly highbrow a lot of the time.
It's pretty.
It's
awesome.
screwball comedy. It's a thing like that, like to do like dumb humor, right?
Yeah, they did a good.
Totally different vibes. Yeah, exactly. Like I think Bill and Ted is a very different kind of humor. So fun thing regarding the floors, you might actually have seen by the ones he's putting out. Actually, wait, are any of the? We're gonna reprint the KF6 floors along with reconfiguring them a little bit. We think we've reworked them into a better setup for the forest floors, combining new and old. Well, new and old are separate in packs, but we think that overall, it's a more sensible offering now. The way that we've reconfigured it.
We're gonna have to go live for this.
Yes.
All right. All right, we've got the forest clearing pack, which is essentially unchanged for Wildlands.
I think the Wildlands floors are basically not changing.
With the inserts, with those guys. Yay, it's great. We've got the trails pack, which is these guys. Oh, it's got a little...
Can you explain how taxes work on the Pledge Manager? It should be automatically applying your taxes when you get to like the checkout phase, I believe.
Yes.
When you get to the checkout phase, it should then show you taxes and shipping.
We've got the...
But it won't show you that until you get to the checkout, I think. Because you need to basically tell you where you live for it to figure that stuff out.
Everything that you're getting, where you live.
Yeah.
It'll say, well, not so fast. You owe me money.
Both for like US and EU. Like it won't do taxes until you get to checkout because it can't figure out what the taxes are going to be until it knows where you live.
It knows where you live.
Yeah.
The call's coming from inside the house.
Yes.
All right, so we got the forest clearing pack, we got the trails pack, we got the small floors pack, which has got 4 of the 2x2s, 6 of the 2x1s, 4 of the 1x1s, and this is why this is such a strange numbers. It makes a rectangle.
We love geometry.
Okay, so yeah, but it's enough to wrap. Can't remember how it wraps. That's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it gives you enough to wrap around one if you were going off by 1 inch this way. You could. I can't remember all the. There was something else it did too. I was trying to remember what it had enough 2x2s to do that.
It's been a while. In general, I think we tried to make all the. In general, I think we tried to make all the floor packs have the same footprint basically, or like similar to one, or something.
Well, except for this one's got a little outrigger and whatever, but it's fundamentally there. So then on the new one, as Chris was.
What we reconfigured was the KS6 floors.
So we're gonna put the forest floors from. This is once again concept. We haven't actually confirmed that the mold configurations work for it, but the idea is we put the original Dread Hollow floors in a pack together with then one of each topper. So you get one of the creepy branch, one of the original large stump, one of the dead snag, one of the original, put it up there, original little small stump topper, and one of the rotten hole. So you get this is a cool little variety pack.
Mm-hmm.
And what's neat is, so the trees, we've standardized our trees to be 1 large, 2 small. This kind of breaks them mold a little bit, but because you have the toppers, you could get 1 tree pack and then just pop out a couple of the stump toppers and put on some trees where you need whatnot. So the idea is that there's not a ton of playable space on these, right? They're very stump heavy, and particularly once you put trees in there. But if you mix them with a couple, like if you got one of each of the packs, then suddenly you have a bunch of playable space in the trails, and the clearings have a lot of playable space, and then you could pepper the trees in and around to give it a little style.
Yeah.
You'd have a neat encounter. So we also have we're getting the smaller Dread Hollow floors in a pack. So there are 3 3x6s and 2 3x3s. Once again, that makes a 6x12 if you want together. But these things I use all the time, right? These are if you want to offset.
Yeah.
If you've got a big run, you want to offset one of your floors, you boom, pop that guy in there, boom, and you can get back on the run.
So basically, in short, what happened is, with like K6 floors, we had like the light forest and the heavy forest pack or whatever, and so it had a mixture of the stump floors with the smaller stumpless floors. What we've done instead is we've put the 2 stump floors together and then the smaller stumpless floors together. So if you want tree coverage, you can get that pack. If you don't, and you want like the smaller, like knock your forest out, get coverage collection, you can get that. We basically kind of separated the stumps and the non-stumps.
Yeah, I think it's gonna let you get the pieces that you need to make the builds that you want.
Yeah.
In the quantities that make sense, so you're not too tree heavy.
Yeah. So that's the general approach. The Wildlands forest floors are basically staying in the same compositions, but we're reworking the 2 KS6 floors to, instead of being like heavy forest and light forest, to just be like, we need to think of what the names are, but yeah.
Forests.
So if you want
stumpity floors.
Yeah. Oh yes, and we are going to be reprinting the teardrop insert pack as well.
Oh yeah.
So if you get the teardrop floors, you can also pick up the teardrop insert pack and get all of those things.
This one comes with a wild. It's a wild lineup. So it's got, is this right? There's 2 of these? Wait, no, there's only 1 swamp. I grabbed 2, what did I grab? Hang on. I believe it's 2 spike pits, 2 burrows holes, 1, 1, 1. I think it's that. Oh, and this guy, where did he go? From the mountain. This little guy. Look at that. Teardrop.
Yeah.
Right.
But basically, we're trying to just kind of separate the packs by functionality.
And this guy is my best, my favorite, right? You can use that to make a tunnel going down. You can put it on top to make just get burrowed out in the top. And if you've got any of your burrows inserts, like the Cree eggs and stuff, you can put them on there, and it looks so good. So neat.
Yeah, Animation Giant, we're not going to be doing any of the mega packs. Instead, what we're probably going to do is bundles that just are like, cool, you'll get bundles that are like, here's...
Forest floor bundle.
Yeah.
All the forest floors.
Yeah, but instead it'll just be a bundle made up of the component sets,
Yep.
instead of being like a new composition of a thing that we need to order like 500 of.
And perhaps a small discount because you got the big old bundle, right?
Yes.
5 forest floors packs and you save $25 or something. I'm making that up, like not confirmed, but that's the idea and intention. We'll see if it makes sense.
Can you throw in the monster eggs? Monster eggs and wyvern nest people have asked for. We don't have plans for the wyvern nest yet. I know there's been people who have wanted us to break the nest out of the wyvern pack. That's a tricky thing.
Nest is cool. Also, all the burrow stuff is hard to get because we haven't restocked it in forever. But someday we're gonna.
The monster eggs might actually be the eggs from inside the wyvern nest and not the burrow's glowing eggs.
Was it the wyvern eggs or the burrow's eggs?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's generally. Let's see.
Was there any?
Yes, please. That's a lot of people want that nest. We'll have to look at it, see if that's feasible. We haven't really discussed the nest yet.
No.
If anything, that would probably be one of the stretch goal things.
Oh, here's another. Speaking of stretch goal, here's
because it's just very much not bread and butter.
Here is somebody that's on that liminal state between the stretch goal or bread and butter. Our buddy, Huge Yumak, the huge hummock.
Yeah.
Where hopefully this can be one of the core bits. If not, it's an unlock. Because man, this is a fun piece.
You're thinking Cree colony eggs? We'll have to look at that. The burrow stuff needs love. I don't know if this is the time to do it, but it needs love.
Yes. And it really, it is fun. I dream of returning to the burrows, getting those 45-degree bits in, the larger chambers, other inserts. Like there's some other cool elevations. I don't remember where the.
Let's just make this.
My notebooks. I have a bunch of.
Let's just make this one do really well, and then we can do the dungeon reconfig, and that does well, and then we can go to burrows and sewers or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and somewhere sci-fi is in between there, and the full-on sci-fi and return to sci-fi.
We're gonna be good. Yeah. It's gonna be good, and we'll get to it. And like because this is a huge step, and we're making a bunch of other big steps. Like we're gonna
making big steps.
I think next year we'll probably be able to make burrows plans. I don't know. I don't think burrows will happen next year, but we can at least start thinking about it. I think.
Yep. Or if nothing else, we could just do a burrows core set, and restock that.
It does feel like it wants a few new sculpts though, but maybe we could just do that.
But just start there, right?
Yeah.
Get a little momentum, get something, and then it helps justify the sculpts.
We need to look at it now that the Kickstarter's over. Once we've got this locked down, I'm gonna be looking at that because there's really just a few things that we still need. There's only a couple things left that we haven't really gotten any love for yet. So we got crystals coming back. We got like all the different cavern paint schemes. Stuff's happening.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Surprise! It's a tunnel.
If sewers get revisited, please reconfig for anchor magnets. Oh yeah, one of the things we want to do is add magnets to the sewers when we revisit it.
Yes, and have some 2x2 pieces, and there's a lot.
That's explicitly one of the things that we've said we want to do.
There's a lot to do in sewers.
Yeah. Sewers, what we have in sewers is very cool. We can take it further.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a dip in the toe in.
It's a very cool aesthetic, and it's a commonly used enough setting.
Yeah.
So we just need to find the time to actually do it. Did we go over all of the tree? I guess we can do that in swamp. Let's do swamp. Yeah. Actually, let me roll this and then we'll do swamp. I'm gonna roll the giveaway in like 30 seconds. If you haven't typed Alex Winter all one word yet.
My favorite actor.
Only actor.
What else is he?
Not a big fan of his work behind the camera.
Oh, I love that that movie he did with the guy that had a challenge and then he like rose to the challenge. He like
Rocky.
He learned a lot along the way, but in the end he triumphed. And what was that movie that Alex Winter directed about that guy?
It's almost Rocky, but like
it's every movie ever.
Yeah, that's the standard hero story.
Like, yeah. He was sort of living in a stagnant life, and some sort of like inciting incident happened and forced him out of his comfort zone, and he went on a journey, and he just when he thought things were going to go well, it just got worse, and then, but at the end there was this delightful, he learned an important life lesson and had to make a valuable sacrifice, but he grew from it, and then he returned home wiser and found harmony and happiness. And what
Star
movie
Wars.
Was that? Yeah.
Star Wars.
I love his. He did Attack of the Clones.
Everybody's saying sounds like Star Wars. It's like that's literally just Joseph Campbell.
It's just the.
It's the thing. Saying that Star Wars is Joseph Campbell's hero's journey feels like the whole like. Did you know that
Dark Night of the Soul?
Did you know that Viggo Mortensen actually kicked that helmet and broke his toe, and he acted through it? It's that in Lord of the Rings.
He did.
I think it was.
He kicked his.
I think it was Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah, he played.
He like kicks like an orc helmet and like. Oh, did you know when they were filming that he broke his toe and he just kept acting through it?
No.
It feels like one of those. Feel personally attacked by that? All right, yeah. Okay, let's roll this baby. All right.
There you go. He kicked his toe. He kicked his helmet.
Hey, real or ret?
Hey,
this is
wait. We gotta send a.
This is Shimmerfrond money right here.
We throw in a Shimmerfrond with. That's also my favorite thing is that he's embraced the Shimmerfrond and made it his thing now. It's like he's the best. We have the best people, hands down.
There we go. All right.
Ooh.
Franz inbound. You got to hold on to it to use in the Reforge campaign for the Shimmerfrond pack because they have to. Oh wait, that's a forest thing we haven't talked about. New Shimmerfrond pack, not new.
All Shimmerfronds.
Oops, all Franz. Oh, that is like the one mega pack we actually are still keeping. It's the Shimmerfrond mega pack.
It's 40 Shimmerfronds and nothing else. It's like it's $300. It's like just Shimmerfronds. They look pretty good in large groups. I'll be honest. All right, so we're also looking at. We need a little bit of dressing. Right now we have slotted out the.
Is this the
fairy plants?
Is it fairy glade? What is it? It's
the fairy plants, fairy glade, the fairy, fun fairy,
It is fairy glade. No, fairy glade is the trees.
Flora. The
fairy plants.
Yeah,
fairy plants pack.
That's what I said the first time.
Yes.
Alex Winter's favorite pack, actually. He bought a lot of these. He came by our booth at Gen Con, and I was like, oh man, it was so good when you directed that movie, and I loved it. And here, have a fairy plant. Oh no, that was Matt Stone.
Then the Felborn plant. So basically, we're bringing back like the 2 plant packs that.
Matt Stone did come by our booth, also really stoned. Like I think he was like incoherently, he was like definitely in another world.
I can't believe Matt Stone was
stoned.
Was stoned, yeah,
or something, or just like tripping balls at our booth.
I can't imagine Matt Stone of all people being under the influence.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But apparently he's got a DF collection.
Let's see. Yeah, so the fairy plants and the Felborn plants right there.
Alex Winter.
He loves Alex Winter.
The Felborn.
I don't.
We get
yeah, that's exactly. Matt Stone was there to bro out.
Yeah, no, we broed like all day for the 3 minutes.
He broed a little close to the sun, honestly. Yeah.
It was
So
it was an intense 3 minutes. So we get the Razorvine tangles. We got 3 of the little rocky mossy rock mounds with the mephit reeds, and 3 wild wolfbane. I love these, by the way. I pop these things all over the place just for a little splash of color. God, love them. and our friend Shimmer Franz. You know what? Also, I forgot these they glow.
Yes.
I
They're
did
both
a build with them, and I turned out the lights, and I lived. And I was like, wait,
that was because somebody asked us if they did, and so I like during the campaign I ran over to Erin and I was like, can we do that? And so she tried out like UV paint on it, and so they're both UV and glow in the dark. So they're both black light and glow in the dark.
Environment turning out that way. More.
Does it need to be more extreme? It might need to be more extreme.
More extreme. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything.
We still have too much light going on in here.
Well,
this restock will be both painted and unpainted. Yes.
Imagine, if you will.
if you have one of those, cup it in your hand and like look at it and like, oh, it's glowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that until I was using them this weekend. I built a hag garden and I had a bunch of things. Like, wow, wait, that's right. Yeah. Bah.
What is the Razorvine cast in? It's like a silicone.
Do you know? Here's a fun fact. So originally when we did Caverns Deep, we were playing with some UV reactive stuff for the Underdoom. No. And yeah, so we had those hot right. Yeah. And I forgot who I was talking to. You know, yeah. And
you're 3.5 years, and I don't know that Underdoom is UV reactive.
No, but the waves, yeah, you trolled me. It was perfect.
Yeah.
So the perfect straight man. So we were playing with UV paints, and what I wanted to do on the Dread Hollow Forest floors was put UV fairy rings in UV that you could only see under UV paint. So you could build out a thing and then click out the lights and turn on the thing and see if anybody was standing in a fairy ring, and they could be like sort of fun shenanigans for. It would be kind of a one-off gag, and it was going to raise the price, but it was like a whole thing. But it was like the fun gag was going to be like you're in this forest. We had the mushroom rings, so you could then put them down once you discovered like fairy ring. You could put it down and do the thing, and it was like okay. But yeah, it did. Turns out it was an ambitious campaign. We had a lot going on it, and raising the price to have some invisible thing that people would use like maybe once was maybe not the best way to spend our money.
It's a cool thing, and you know when we show people that the Underdoom like is UV reactive like at conventions and stuff, like it's a really cool thing. It's very rare that you're going to do it at the table, but if you do, it's a very fun thing. It's one of those like wow moments that I've seen people do, like because black lights aren't terribly expensive. It's just you got to go out of your way to like set it up.
Yes, and have a reason to make it.
And a reason to do it. Yeah. So yeah, those are the 2 plant packs right there. Fellborn, Fairy.
Well, so Fellborn, we got everybody's favorite, the Nettle Gorse. We got the 3 little Sorrow Nest bulb pods, the big Mama Sorrow Nest, the little Viscolids, and the Happy Clam. Right, he's got like Happy Clam paws, the Bone Bloom.
A standard like 25mm mini fits in it perfectly to like get swallowed basically.
Well, also you can do the fun gag where you have like an NPC in there or something in there. They come across the scene and you have a couple of them open and you have almost one closed and like, wait a second, there's someone in there.
Yeah.
Nothing gets your players fired up like putting a thing that obviously is like giant trap plant like on the table and they're like, whoa, wait. It's a fun. You can try and disguise it. I've done this before. Like I try and disguise it with the Razorvine Tangle, and they're like, they always see it. And then they feel smart because they saw the thing that's obviously a trap.
I think unless you're going to keep it off the field until somebody steps on the square and then reveal it or something, or until they make a good spot check or something. Like I think probably the other best way to use it is to have enough of them to like have them pretty much all over the battlefield, and make it a thing where it's like give them reasons where it's like, I really just got to move over to where it is right now.
I can jump that thing, right? I can.
Yeah. Like we're having to take like risky maneuvers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, basically, it's mostly used as a surprise, right? It's camouflage.
Generally, it's like if because I think we even wrote in the stats that like it's very good at hiding unless they pass a certain perception check. So you don't show it until somebody like steps in it or they notice it, basically. But yeah, I think there's interesting stuff you could do. Yeah. So those two plant packs, so that we've got the plant because the plants are like a big selling point for the campaign, honestly.
And they're fun. And you can put them
they're
anywhere.
Fun.
And
they're scattered. You can drop them in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And they're not terribly expensive packs.
No. So we got some plants coming?
Yeah.
Plants to make it
and we were right before this. We were talking like, oh, should we do deadly plants? We actually have a lot of them in stock still. So that's cool.
All
Hey,
right.
Reba! Not that Reba, I assume, but brand new to Dwarven Forge, dropping $500 down out of my first sets.
Hey, congratulations.
Amazing.
All right, so here's 2 questions for you, Reba.
What are you getting?
What are you buying?
What are you buying?
What are you buying and why?
He doesn't know what that is.
What sets you buying?
He hasn't played Resident Evil 4.
No, I played the first one on PS1. Like the first, I don't know.
He really was like just a water. Is that the correct place to use watershed moment?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like just a phenomenal step forward.
So Reba,
yeah.
what are you buying for your first sets? Why did you choose them, and how did you decide what to get?
What are you selling? What are you buying?
In the meantime, let's look at the swamps.
Swamps. So the swamps we didn't actually change much. It turns out that the swamps actually were like our first attempt at making like build scenario based packs, and it turns out it actually came out really well. Plague Stone and a core dungeon. Ooh. Did you get the
sinister dungeon lair, right?
Did you get the dungeon Plague Stone encounter, or was it a different Plague Stone encounter? Because yeah, if you take the sinister dungeon lair and then mix it with like a core dungeon pack, that's a good amount of dungeon.
That's a great lineup.
That's a really good amount of dungeon.
Cool decor, cool showpieces. Got all this. It's good variety. It's like, wow,
You got the secret door wall in there.
That's a power move open. Like
how
did you find that combo?
That encounter actually has like the secret door wall that everybody always doesn't realize they have.
It's got a bed. It's got
if you're having trouble finding the secret door corner,
it's like
if you're having trouble finding the secret door corner, just check the bottoms for the one that has a different code, because there's the secret door corner wall in that set is extremely well sculpted. It's very hard to see that it does slide out until you do it.
It's the bane of customer service's existence.
We get so many emails every time we like sell that where people are like, I didn't get this one, and it's like, check the bottom, you probably have it, and then they will. It's just you don't see the seam, which is also what makes it like surprise players so much when you pop it open, because nobody sees it.
Wait till you see the new remastered dungeon straight wall secret door.
Yeah.
Wizardry.
Thinking core dungeon is easy choice, but I like the options for Plague Stone. So Plague Stone gives you like a full like scenario, right? Like it comes with dressing and stuff, so like you can have a session in any of the Plague Stone encounters.
But
like,
then you throw the core dungeon in, you have now like you have
more
basic pieces
variety
to like it's killer. Yeah, that was. How did you get to Plague Stone plus the core? Like that was a tough that was some advanced like internet sleuthing to get
Plague
there.
Plague Stone is like hidden extremely good starter sets, but they weren't really messaged that way, so a lot of people overlook them. But like they're very, very good starter sets. Plague Stone's a great place to start.
All right, we've got for the swamp, we got the ponds pack.
This is one pack.
One pack, right? It's got, and so the idea of this pack is it is lots of concaves, banks, and a couple straights, so you can make ponds, right? Because the idea with the banks is there's a lot of use cases, right? You're doing something like this where you want to do a negative space inside a big run. This gets you our concaves with a little bit of variety and a couple of lily pads. It's a fun, and it's got the stump toppers. It's like a complete little pack. You know what? These banks were some of the very first packs that I composed. I spent a whole bunch of time trying to figure these out, and then the rest, it was like we're just rapidly running out of time. So the rest of them were like, oh, go. So like these are the most vetted, well thought out, like
and surprise,
and the rest was like, I don't know, we got to get packs. Wait, there's like 3 other biomes. Go. There's ruins. What are we gonna do?
And surprise, swamps is the ones that we looked at and we're like, yeah, we don't have to change any of this. Yeah. Like this all makes sense.
Turns out
Reba says they found it by spending a lot of time browsing the site, YouTube, and Discord.
Wow.
So I bet somebody on Discord probably recommended Plague Stone, because a lot of people on the Discord know that Plague Stone is good, and so they'll recommend it as a starting place.
You spent when you put in the time.
Zoltar's is on your to-buy list. Yeah, Zoltar's is also
killer,
because that gives you a lot of like really cool set pieces too, to jazz things up.
And a few more basic pieces, and it will supplement really well if you already have Plague Stone. Like that's just you're killing it. We got the islands, which is heavy on the convexes. So it's got 7 of these little guys, because you end up using a ton of these, particularly if you're doing any sort of islandy type bit. I think I ended up throwing 2 extras in there just because I'm like, you just used so many of these, can't have enough. I guess you could narrow. Let's see, I don't know. And it's got the little hummock and a lily pad. Fun collection. Then we've got these are.
Packed Dirt was the Wildlands terrain tray, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, these
Earth,
were great
I
on
think
it.
was-
Packed Earth.
Yeah.
That tray, you can find a sample build on the Wildlands site actually where we made a dirt road using that terrain tray and the swamp because we were like, hey, look, it's the first encounter from
What were we?
Lost Mine of Phandelver.
I feel like we were building. Were you building or was Toby building? I was doing that dirt path and someone was building. I think we had 2 builds at the same time in this room.
That was you and
When that
Toby.
was-
We did a like a stream near the end. We did it
We
where
were
you
just
two were
rapidly
building.
building.
Well, because we were
once.
doing a lot of like, hey, can you please combine like a Heart of
Yeah.
the Forest with
Yeah,
Dread Hollow?
It was requested.
It was those builds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
You meant the new one from Cities Untold. Oh, the mud trays. The
What
mud
was the
probably
question
works
about
under there. Does the mud work with the swamp banks? The mud tray. I think
Yeah,
it
yeah,
will
it'd be
because
great.
like it looks wetter
Yeah.
and like the swamp banks look wet.
It's muddier mud. Yeah, it should be awesome.
I could just grab one, I suppose.
You want?
Yeah, I can. I'll go do that.
Yeah, well. What? I just moved the same thing. What was I thinking? I don't know. I had a plan. No, it was that and this. All right, so this is the rivers, which is basically just giving you a whole bunch of straights. But it's got 2 pairs of these transition ones, which you can use to then get to the trifectas. But they're also good as alternate shapes. But you can also use them to do interesting curves as well. So this is basically just if you want to get a bunch of straight runs, which then combine really well with either the others. Particularly, you could get the ponds and this, and then you can do a winding river. But this was basically trying to get you lots of straight. So one's got to stay. And then our last, we get 2 more. Geez, I'm going in kind of the wrong order, but who's counting? Wait, where is? Oh, the diagonal's there. Okay. A bone.
Problem actually.
What?
We had that cleaning day, so everything got organized, and I can't find anything.
Organized out of existence. It might,
Do you think Tyler moved it all to his room?
It would be like no. Wait.
Oh, were they literally right there? Were they in this room the entire time? All right.
Calls
cool.
coming from inside the building, Chris.
Phenomenal. Who was mentioning trifecta ledges in dungeons? Oh, I have no idea. But yeah, if you want to see the initial pack dirt, the Wildlands dirt tray, there is a sample build on the Wildlands microsite that shows that.
So these are paper mock-ups, so they're kind of glossy and they're not edge, whatever.
Yeah,
But,
not a finished product, but generally what it's going to look like.
Let's see what it looks. What do we want to make a? Do we want to make a bog or do we want to make a road?
Doing the kind of pond approach will probably get us the most out of it. It's actually the sculpted dirt that people most want to see.
Underneath it?
Yeah.
Oh man.
It might be a little bit of a
Project.
detour from this. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if we have enough to.
I mean, I did it. I did do a sample build with it. I could post photos of it in.
Oh, it's in that video, isn't it?
Well, no, we removed it.
Oh. Well then, it's not in that video.
We did put it in that video, but we filmed it for it, but we didn't include it.
He is dead.
Yes.
Well, take it. Yeah, you can put a still picture. You see it in action. What did I do?
I'll when the stream's over, I'll look into getting some photos of that. It would take because we'd have to go get those tiles out. We'd have to build double high and. Yeah.
Trying to get it in just one. There you go. Oh, that's
Hardest
pretty
choice of the pledge builder was deciding on ground cover. Yeah, I hear that.
This looks neat.
Yeah, it does.
Really neat.
It looks like a lake that's dried up.
Yeah, it's nice. I like it.
Just be aware, it looks like the certification on that site has expired. Yeah, I think they just haven't bothered keeping it up because Wildlands has been over.
You know what? We should probably
Wildlands Microsoft.
recertify going into.
Yeah, because we were talking
people
about.
are going to search and like it's going to come up.
It's
and then they're
going to be a very useful tool for this
Yes.
Campaign.
Yes.
The site is safe.
Well,
we
it's
just
going to just come up in searches too. Like so, people are going to like it's then they're going to think we're like did some phishing scam or something or I don't know.
yeah. That looks great. Adding some dirt terrain right now. Beautiful. Yeah, the stuff really, like, the dirt and mud stuff from Lowtown actually mixes with the Wildlands banks very well.
I mean, that's kind of the beauty of a lot of the stuff we do.
We do have...
You can mix and match it to your heart's content.
We do have a half hour left.
Uh-oh.
We don't have a ton of... It would be nice to get through the packs with enough time left to talk about other things as well. To talk about stretch goal unlocks, like what we're thinking in that regard. That sort of thing. Which, I think we've done most of the swamp sets here.
Thinking?
How'd they navigate there from the... We'll set it up... We're gonna, like, as we get into this campaign, we're probably going to start linking people to that microsite again. It hasn't been there because the Kickstarter's been done for so long, but we're probably going to just adjust and add some stuff to that microsite and bring it back as we move into this campaign. We just haven't had time to yet.
Or we port it over to the new, I don't know. Well, I don't know what we're gonna do with, but
yeah.
we have good assets there.
Yes. So much work was done on that. If we can save time by just kind of reusing that site, that would be sick. Making time for sci-fi beans, we see. Sci-fi is still not we don't want to show it yet. It looks very cool, though. Any chance of bringing back the cool tree sculpts as stretch goals? We'll talk about that in a little bit. Yeah. We just got to get through a couple more swamp packs, and I think we're basically ready to go.
Goes there. Two there. Must be two there.
What have you pulled that we haven't talked about outside of swamp?
All right. Let's see. We got. You know what we didn't talk about? We got the other. Oh wait. I forgot one more Banks pack. We got the basic boys.
That's the name of the pack.
Yeah. Cool boys.
Basically, all the Swamp Banks packs that you can see in the store, basically all those are coming back. Like, it's like 6 packs or something, and concaves, they're all very solid. 2 short straights, 2 convex. Boom, boom, boom. The basics? The something? Basic boys.
Yeah.
I think Basic Builder. Is it Swamp's Basic Builder or something?
Something like that.
Yeah.
These are, you can never have enough of these. All these are little ones that make the rest of the things work.
Will the reconfigs of the OG Dread Hollow Forest Floors really be worth it to lose the grandfathered pricing? I don't think it's actually going to be that big. Like, we're talking to the factory to, like, see. I think it's actually not going to be that serious because those were...
I don't know. We will find out.
Yeah. We're talking to the factory to see how it looks. Like I said, like, we just solidified this approach yesterday, basically. So now we're running it by the factory to make sure there's no
it's a good question,
hiccups.
Price is always a thing we have to think about. All right, so we got the swamp lumps, swamp stump lumps, the swamp lumps, and this is, man, we're just marveling. I love this pack. You got your 3. You got your big boy stump lump, your 2 little boy stump lumps, the projecting roots and all large and small.
The swamp stump lump pack gives you a lot of stuff.
It was so funny. I was just the other day. I was building with these. And I was like, man, we really need to get this projecting roots back, and we've got them. We have we already did it.
I said that we were looking for a way to get them back, and it was like, because having just a pack of projecting roots was rough, but like this makes sense.
And they look cool. And it's got 3 toppers, as well as it's got all the. This has got the hanging, the moss hangers.
It's got 4 hanging moss. Yeah.
Why is this crooked? I don't know what's going on. This guy's bent. 4 of these little hanging moss boys. More moss than I can actually hang on this.
Are you ready to talk about Caverns Reforged yet?
Oh boy.
Not.
We haven't even launched this yet. Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. I'm bored. Then we also have, we got the swamp. Oh boy, this cypress took a hit. Sorry, cypress. Got the 2 cypresses.
With us taking them to conventions and stuff. The cypress takes a lot of punishment. No, the sculpted dirt tiles. Oh, was I just completely wrong? Oh, you weren't even talking about a terrain tray.
What?
I'm just reading back through the chat. Ignore me. Don't worry about it. It's too late at this point. We got to focus on the stuff that we were trying to do tonight.
We got a willow. We got 2 cypresses as a nice option. We got some fun trees here. But also, that's not it. There's more. Woo! We've got. Oh boy. I'm trying to keep these packs together because then we can use them as we're doing bundles. You already pulled all these packs.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oof, we lost the peg. Oh my goodness, what's going on here? All right, let's glue you. We got the dead. This is an MVP pack. What is this called? Like the Dying Forest?
Dying Forest tree toppers, something like that.
Because we've got. Boy, we can drop. Maybe this should be cool.
That pack is 3 trees. Yeah, so that swamp tree toppers he was just looking at was 1 large tree, which is the willow, and then the 2 smalls are 2 cypress.
Willow.
So if you can get that and any stump lump pack, and you will have the appropriate amount of trees to stumps.
Large dead tree. 2 small dead trees. The old gnarled tree, originally from Cavern Steep, the original Dread Hollow. Dead snag and a rotten hole pepper and 4 bits of moss. This is such a good. This gives you like everything you need to make a creepy build. And what's neat is we have 2 larges and 4 smalls, so it covers double stump lumps, right? So you get 2 stump lump sets. Like you could get the mountain stump lumps and the swamp stump lumps, then put all these on here and have a cool, super dead forest. Let's put this guy here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Who doesn't want super dead forest?
Let's see. Basically, with this, we should have all of our tree and plants back. Basically, is what we're trying to do here.
Hit every.
Because we're talking about it, it's like, do we need the trees? And it's like the trees were a huge selling point of the campaign.
It's what makes the whole.
So,
and
yeah.
You can't, you don't have flocking. It just gives us. It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. We got ourselves a whole dead, dying forest. I guess that's what we're here.
So there's a stump lump and a swamp root lump pack. We basically broke our stump lumps down into 3 packs. The forest stump lumps, which is the ones from KS6. The mountain stump lumps. And then the swamp stump lumps, which is the 3 that you're looking at right now.
Well,
and each of those come with...
also has mountain. There's 6 here.
Oh, there's mountain there, yeah. And so between those 3 stump lump packs, you also get like all of the toppers that we've made. So basically, with that system, like in a couple packs, we basically got like the whole modular tree system going in there, and we've changed like the like modular trees from KS6. We changed the name to deciduous because they're not the only modular trees anymore.
They were once upon a time.
Yeah, so we call them deciduous, like the deciduous trees pack now.
We made
deciduous tree toppers.
Deciduous decision.
Yeah.
You guys going here?
Dead trees are so useful. Yeah, they really help with keeping your forest playable while still having like trees.
Well, and you're gonna just end up in places where there's dead trees when you're playing D&D, right? The places where trouble happens is where there are dead trees. So you will end up using them all the time.
But the main thing is, we think we've got a very flexible and easy to understand system for getting a variety of trees and being able to customize like which ones you want without winding up with like mismatches.
They're dangerous.
Yeah.
I love the dying tree toppers.
And trying to make sure that every stump lump comes with a topper, so that you've always got something to fill it in, even if you don't have the trees for it yet.
And the right ratios, so you can buy the stump lumps and the toppers and work out real well. Real well for you.
Okay. Do we talk about...
So that's potential stretch goals, right?
Yeah.
It seems like plan. So one of the things, once again, we're trying to make this campaign manageable and not like a huge ordeal. But we also want to test the Game Found campaign, or the Game Found platform. So, and it's got some really neat baked-in stretch goal things. So, and we talked about this, I don't know, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Whatever we were talking about. Like, you guys had a bunch of good ideas. So what we're looking at is we're going to try something like the Arcane Compass, right? Do a reprint on that, because we haven't printed that again, as a potential free stretch goal, and then do a bunch of pack unlocks of, hey, we can throw some more molds in here and see what happens. And maybe there'll be some other stuff in there, but that was what we were kicking around the other day. And we can look at what are some of the things we're talking about bringing back, Chris, as stretch goals, potential?
So basically a lot of the larger set pieces that aren't quite bread and butter, but we think are still very cool, we've got in there. And basically, none of these are things where it's like, oh, we simply won't make these anymore if we don't hit this.
Hey, you know what? Let's rewind.
We forget something?
That was the sound of rewinding, on a tape recorder.
Is it just another bounce back?
Right? We also have the swells. I don't know how I didn't mention that. We got,
because there's a lot of banks.
Yeah, these guys, and these are probably my favorite at the bank collection. They're just such a neat, their shapes are just so cool. So these let you go up 3 inches, so you don't have to have a fully straight run. You can also do them in the middle of a straight run and just have like a lump off. They're really neat for doing interesting curves and corners and whatever. They're just, God, the swells they're the coolest. Yay.
A new paint scheme would definitely be easier than new pieces. It might still be too much.
We have to do paint samples back and forth. It lengthens the timeline, and if we're going to launch this thing, the dream is to have this up and running by Gen Con. So we have to move fast. We don't have.
We might only have 2 months to prep this, basically.
It was a very good suggestion, and
maybe what we could do is maybe we could make mock-ups of maybe we could make painting videos to just show if you want to do these custom paint schemes, here's a recommendation of what paints you can use. So even if the factory isn't producing it, you can get it unpainted, and here's the steps to doing this or something. Which we did do that autumn paint scheme. We did an autumn paint scheme video for Dreadhall for the deciduous trees, so we do have that if you want to do it yourself.
This could be a neat. We could do. This is. I'm just making a bunch of work for us now. We could do a reorder campaign in the future that was alt paint reorders, right? Do some interesting variations that people have been asking for. Mm-hmm. And that you do it as a campaign. Here, we're going to do these neat things. Gives you a chance to get these, and take, do black marble daises or autumnal trees or something different. Sandstone or not sandy caverns or something. Or there's a fun chance to do some other paints as a neat reorder thing. But right now it's not. We don't have the timeline to be able to.
It might still be complicating it too much for the time that we have to work it out with the factory.
Well, it requires all new photos and videos and everything. Yeah. Just getting back and forth in the factory it's just time, and we need them to be pushing and figuring out the paint masters for Lowtown and there's.
The main thing is we've just got to. We just have to get this stuff back in stock. That is the main purpose for this. So. Yeah.
But it's a cool idea.
We do want to help with alt paint schemes when we can, though. So like I said, we did do an autumn forest painting video last year that kind of shows how you can do that yourself if you want to.
It's true.
Right. So.
All right. Oh, here's a good potential.
Do you want me to list things off, or are we gonna?
Yeah, I just had one on hand.
So whole null is one of the things that we're we can make this a stretch goal to get this in there. So basically, a lot of the set pieces like this. The freestanding trees packs. So the Fairy Glade, which is the Quildren and the Regal Rowan, and I think a Shimmerfrond is that pack. And the Fellborn Trees pack, which is the Black Rot and the Slink Root, and something else. What's the third thing? A Nettle Gorse. That is another thing we could have there. The Oblivion Nexus is something that we can put there. The Glamour Leaf could be a fairly early one, probably.
Glamour Leaf is a great.
And so if we have them on the stretch goal list and we don't hit them, it's not we're never going to make this piece again. It's just we're not going to be able to fit it into this restock order, basically.
Oblivion Nexus is a really good one.
Yeah.
We could think about the Spirit Tree from original Dread Hollow.
Mm-hmm.
We could think about what
we talked about that, about like putting the original Spirit Tree in there, and that's probably one of the Standing Stones we had as a potential thing.
Yeah, so some LEDs in there.
What's that? The Wellspring. So yeah, basically like the set pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unlock to buy, not like a stretch goal. Yeah. So it's basically just if we get enough funding, it's like cool. We can actually add more sets to this restock order, is what we're thinking. So yeah, that's generally what we're thinking.
Moonlit Arch we can't do.
Unfortunately, resin. Unfortunately, resin is dead.
Resin's not in our future.
Yeah. Unless something drastic changes.
Nobody wants to produce resin anymore, or at least not at affordable prices. At least not for us.
Yeah. So unless something major changes, we just can't do resin anymore. The huge hummock is a thing that we're also looking at there. So basically all those pieces, because there's really not that many things that we don't have in the core offering.
Because Titan's Tooth and the Ruins are coming already. You know what we were talking about just before the show. We don't have the floating log.
Oh yeah, the Forgotten Forest pack.
Yeah, well, it was floating log.
Floating log, hollow hedges. It has a shimmer frond. Does it have a shimmer frond?
It has Wolfsbane.
It has like 2 Wolfsbanes. It has 2 hollow hedges.
It had something else that was it. Did it have Nettle Gorse?
I think it does. Let me check it.
It was
Nettle Gorse has a magnetic boulder, 2 hollow hedges, a floating log, and 2 Wolfsbane patches.
Yeah.
So potentially that.
The
boat. I think the barge we already got back in stock.
Yeah, or we ordered it if we didn't.
Hollow hedges should really be their own pack.
It's a boring pack, but yeah, people want a lot of them. Hollow hedge and that tree are things that we didn't, that aren't in here that are.
I feel like this is almost the whole of Wildlands, which is,
yeah.
That's the thing. Like we're looking at it. It's like with like 30-ish up to 40 sets, we've got almost everything back.
We got the bits, all the core bits.
Yeah.
And then the stuff that we just talked about as potential stretch goals are sort of everything else.
Yeah, because the other thing too is because we've already got
accessories missing. There's some pole accessories missing. There's some.
It's the little things like pole accessory pack I also have as a potential.
Yeah.
As a potential thing. So that's a thing. I mean, first off, we have to see if we can actually go with the base offering that we want right here, if that actually does work and makes sense. And if so, then we can talk to them like, cool. So can we add these things potentially to the order if we get all that jazz. Met the forest elevation, but
spreading spore claw was another one we could think about.
That is a pack actually, the rocky elevation pack. There's a number of pieces in there that we don't currently have access to. It's got the banana boat.
Oh,
cliff.
The end cap.
It has the riser. We should honestly just do that pack. It's like Crag's Bridge, where it's like this is a. That's one that we should just try to get in. We're gonna miss something.
Yeah.
Price is the same as the original Kickstarter. Store prices. We can't. In the Kickstarter, we said you'll never get them at these prices again.
And we
can't. But we are looking at ways to like offer some sort of discount or credit or something so that there is some incentive.
We're trying. We'll see. And it could just be maybe a free piece or two or something. I don't know.
We're exploring what our options are, especially with GameFound as a platform. We're exploring what our options are to make it more rewarding to join the campaign.
Those pieces.
It'd just be one pack, and I think it's literally a pack that is made up of like entirely pieces that we don't have currently.
Yeah.
Let me actually. Is it Forest Elevation? What is
Rocky Elevation?
I think it's Rocky Elevation is the name of the pack. Yeah, Rocky Elevation. Yeah, literally, it's the banana boat. It's a Titan's Tooth bottom is the only thing that's weird about it. Because the Titan's Tooth is coming in October.
Yeah.
It's a little weird that Titan's Tooth bottom is in
But you know what we could also do? We could take the 3 rocks, a couple hollow hedges, and the fallen log, and make that a cool scatter pack. Like that becomes a...
Is that going to just be worse for the people who want the hedges of the log, though? Where it's like, I don't want these big, expensive rocks. I just want the... Is the Forgotten Forest actually a better deal for them than this is?
I don't know. But this would give us those unique pieces without crossover. The Forgotten Forest has crossover with the other... It's overlap with the Fey plants.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll poke it around. There's something in there. Or we could take the Titan's Tooth out and put the magnetic boulder in.
The magnetic boulders were like surprisingly hard to get.
Yeah.
The Standing Stones, like make the LED boulders very accessible. But standing stones is just the LED boulders, right? It's not the it's not the
I think
magnetic.
It's just 3 of those plus.
Yeah, it's just
plus,
it's
plus
two
the LEDs.
It's two
Two of
LED
those?
it's two LED boulders with two each of the
of the-
Balefire Lantern and the Flaming Skulls.
Nice.
Which is a good pack, and I think we should bring it back. It's a
Yeah.
very good pack that you can drop into a lot of biomes. It's the LED lantern post of Wildlands.
It's literally.
Yeah.
Except it's got two LED options for you. Someone was asking.
Maybe Titan Tooth Bottom maybe it's enough to just keep this pack as is. It's a $93 pack, which is a little up there.
Yeah. Ed was asking about texture mats, and that was something we didn't talk about. We definitely think we want to try and do the texture mats. So we were talking about maybe doing a new design, because that's something that doesn't require a bunch of back and forth like paint masters.
Mats and trays are something that we could actually potentially make new things of, because we don't got to make molds for them or anything.
Yeah. So that would be a good picture, because those texture mats are awesome.
Yeah.
If we just find a tube that's long enough to ship them in, we'll be in great shape.
Yeah, we'll need to bring that up with Tyler and see. Maybe we just make this a stretch goal pack. Maybe it is, because looking at these pieces, this is a very good scatter pack. I mean, we have it labeled as a war game pack, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
But we'll need to look at it, because like about half of this pack is stuff that's not available in the rest of the offer currently.
Yeah. Well, we can.
Yeah.
Well, this is why we're doing this, right? To see what are we missing.
It might be worth having Are the Titan's Tooth bottom and top in separate molds?
I have no idea.
They're big
that's
pieces.
That's one of the big questions too. Like,
they're big pieces, so they might be.
I mean, that's sort of the other thing, is we don't know the mold configuration on all these, so that could drive some of these.
Tyler has them and was looking through it,
Yeah.
and he was looking through it, and he's like, "Good news! Like so far, it looks like the molds are going to work out fine for all this." So, yeah.
Well, let's throw him some curveballs. Put Tyler back to work.
Mats and trays, the South Park guys. That's really good.
That's amazing.
Oh no.
What are the chances that?
Terrain tray and texture mat. We have to do some kind of bit with that.
And they're just stoned the whole time.
Let's see. Mud texture mat. Oh, that's fair. That wouldn't be terrible. Skull LED was only in the Standing Stones and the Mega Build.
Bro.
True. Yeah, Standing Stones is just kind of a good thing to get in there.
Well, that's what we're saying. There's no LEDs, but it's less of a bread and butter and more of a specialty thing. It's an ideal stretch goal thing of like unlock.
It's a very good accessory pack. It's not very
awesome.
Expensive. It's
awesome.
It's a cool
LEDs.
thing. Yeah.
You want to put them everywhere. I like LEDs.
Yeah, so we should look at that. So yeah, this Rock Elevation pack is the one thing where I'm like, oh yeah, we need to talk to Tyler about this and see what we can do. Because these pieces would be good to have.
Yeah. Big chunky rocks. Hedges.
I mean, this is a this is a great war game pack.
Throw it on a battle
It's a
mat.
good pitch.
Throw it anywhere. Like, well.
God.
You could put them in your caverns. I mean, they're they work anywhere.
They're
put
good.
Them in your water outside your city. They're big rocks.
What else?
You can't go wrong with rocks. You can always use rocks.
Finally here, what did I miss? A lot.
We're doing Wildlands reorder.
Oh yeah, the huge helmet is another thing. I want to try and get that in the base order. Because Hamster and I have been playing Freeblades, and in the center of the map, like literally where the objective is, I just put the hummock down to like mark it, and it's like just get on the hummock, and that's the objective. And like it's a very good.
It's King of the Hill. King of the Hummock.
Basically King of the Hill, King of the Hummock. Yeah. Elven runes. So the runes aren't going to be in this because they're already all of the rune sets are already in a restock order that's coming in October. So the ruins and Titan's Tooth we've already got coming in, and the Bayou Barge I think was also ordered. So like those things aren't coming in because we've already got access to them.
Hummock to bridge. Like
I forgot the hummock had the paired peg holes too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also got a pair here. Yeah. It's got a pair here too. So you could cantilever a thing out over a cliff or what.
God, that means we can put biscuit pieces like the stairs up to it as well.
No, the biscuits don't go. The stairs have a baked in biscuit.
Oh right.
You could put a scaffolding.
You can put a scaffolding platform and the stairs down. Yeah.
Into the peg holes, but the stairs. If you did a little scaffolding on the stairs, you could do it.
That's a good point.
The stairs, but yes, you could do some neat low town shenanigans with this thing.
You could even
particularly
actually
with the scaffolding, because you have right angle, right? You run a scaffolding here, and you run a scaffolding here, and use it like.
You could actually.
And, like,
actually, what you could do is because the stairs have like the integral peg on the top, but they've got the hole in the bottom. You could actually have a staircase going up from the hummock, and that could like take you up into the trees or something, like up into like walkways.
Yeah. Yeah, you could biscuit the bottom stair into the.
Well, paired peg it into the biscuit hole at the bottom of the stairs. I gotta try that. Let's see.
Yeah, this guy is. We got to get this in the main offer because this like.
The hummock's a great piece.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff that we were worried we wouldn't ever be able to restock. We're looking at it, and it's like, no, let's do it.
You got it. Let's get it in there.
Because the store is looking more viable than
yes
it ever was before, and I think it's because we actually just invested in it. But like, yeah, like it's Titan's Tooth is coming back. The Nexus has. There's really nothing that we're looking at and saying like, yeah, we can't make this again, outside of the resin.
Yeah.
So.
Gridded train trays.
Yeah. Well, the gridded terrain tray thing is interesting because I've heard a lot of people just saying like they really didn't mind the degree that it was off and everything, and that we just want them, you know.
Yeah.
So it might be us having.
Here's the problem: is that there were a bunch of people that did complain, like that's you know, and return them and whatever. Like it was, well, Wilderness Encounter. It was a whole episode about wilderness, and you missed it.
Is that your brother's graduation? Well, congratulations.
I mean, your brother will graduate again. You could have.
I mean, Wilderness Encounter. This is your chance to get whatever wildlands you want. Because basically, long story short, we're basically getting everything back. Like mostly.
Conceptually.
Either in the base offer.
Conceptually, mostly.
If this all works, like we think we found a way to like do it all. We just need to run it by the factory and see how they feel. Can a final stretch goal be to eventually make Dwarvenite versions of the resin wildlands pieces?
No.
No, the issue is, so there's some stuff that just can really only be done in resin.
Well, it would be staggeringly expensive too. Yeah. Those are big. The Threshold of Worlds mold would be. I mean, it's all undercuts and like nonsense, and the Moonlit Arch is huge.
It isn't as expensive to make resin molds as it is with the stuff we do for Dwarvenite. So if we're doing like a big ridiculous mold, if we do it in resin, it's not going to kill us on the mold making cost.
Yep.
The problem is nobody wants to make resin anymore. So.
Yeah. Well, that was, you know what? That's also why we did. You know, that was a special thing we were doing in Wildlands. We're like, hey, we're gonna make a special edition run. We're gonna do a limited thing, like get in while it's hot. And I was like,
what if we just made Dwarvenite versions of the? No, because we still need a tool. We can't do tooling.
For this, you know.
That's right. We can't do tooling.
Pillars.
Just the Griffin statues from the Moonlit Arch. But yeah, the problem is we can't do new tooling.
We got Lowtown. They got 6 months of Lowtown tooling to do.
If we make enough in this, we'll promise to do it in Hightown.
Perfect.
They kind of would fit in Hightown actually.
Maybe. Yeah.
Those fancy statues, I think so. More than Lowtown.
Oh yeah. 100%. We already got too much to do in Hightown. Well, but also, here's the thing. Like, maybe it's the wrong. It is the wrong approach. I would say, like, I kind of like. We did those as a special thing for Wildlands. Yeah. But no, it'd be cool. It'd be cool for everybody to be able to have them because there's some really beautiful sculpts.
And they're small enough that like.
It's just we can't. It's not feasible to do them in Dwarvenite, and that was why we did them in resin. That was the whole point. Was like. It was an artistic victory lap for the sculptors, and it was like, just make something you don't have to worry about the cost because we're going to do this in resin. Like, just do what makes your heart soar, and don't worry. We don't have to. We're not making tooling molds, so you can just go nuts.
It was very funny because Wildlands was the time, like with those resin pieces. That's when we were like, you know what? We actually do want to like put these in the store and like make it more than just like.
Yeah.
And then the factory. Died.
Yeah, we just had a handful of extras.
We were just like, you know what? We're gonna actually commit to doing resin more than we have been.
You know what's gonna happen?
What?
One of these reserve releases, we'll finally have a couple of those. Right, there's a couple in the reserves.
I think there are some in this one coming out.
Are there in this one?
I think so.
Oh boy, because that'll be like that's a last ever chance to. Oof.
Yeah, because we literally
there will be blood.
We literally just can't make it. They don't make other resin stuff or what? Yeah, the factory that they used for resin closed down, and we haven't been able to find another resin factory that isn't just like exorbitantly more expensive. Because resin factory, just resin's not being made the way it used to. So finding a place that'll actually make resin for us is very difficult.
If those are in this reserve release, it's gonna this is gonna be a spicy reserve release with all those adventure packs and like. Ugh.
It would be nice to, yeah. No. It sucks. It's a thing where it's like it's.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. It's better that we made them and only could do a limited run than not make them, right? Like.
We kind of took a bath on them, though, didn't we? Like,
yeah, we didn't make any money on them.
Like, we basically, because it suddenly got way more expensive to make them than what we thought it was going to be.
And
we got hit with so much stuff.
We didn't actually sell a ton of them in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. It's a good thing. Yeah. It's a good thing that Wildlands was as successful as it was, because we got hit with so many things after the campaign closed that were like, hey, shipping is way more expensive. Hey, resin's way more expensive.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, the world, like, internet, the world
it's
blew
suddenly,
up after that.
like, the year after that campaign was just getting slammed with news about how doing what we do is getting more expensive.
Orion Noir has a good idea of 3D printing as the new resin, like doing one-off. So Reaper is doing some 3D printing of their bones, whatever that last bones one is. Some of the stuff they're going to deliver 3D printed. That's an interesting potential. Scan them and 3D print versions of them and sell the printed versions. Or Seocast would be another potential. I don't know if they're so big. I don't know if you can. I don't know. There's something interesting.
You'd have to look into it. The thing that unfortunately wouldn't. I think one of the coolest things about those Griffin statues is the little like kind of crystal on top.
Yep.
And so if we did just do like a 3D printing thing, we couldn't really have that.
Yeah, we'd glue them in. And
oh, you're talking about us 3D printing?
Yeah.
I thought you meant like
we'd sell it as we'd make a 3D print.
I thought you meant like STLs.
Yeah, there's something in there. We've been exploring it. Like there's something in there. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
DM Low Tech is going to see us at Gen Con.
Hey, nice.
Say hi. Yeah. First time chat. Welcome. Excited. I am genuinely excited to see people at Gen Con. That is the one.
Yeah.
Like we get a lot of backers. Our backers are there. It's really fun.
I'm curious to see what this year's like.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a high quality.
Because they've just like gotten rid of all safety protocols and it's just a free for all.
Would you lose a lot of the DF fill if it's 3D printed though? I mean, there's a reason why we won't do that with our mainline stuff. But if it's literally something that we can't make otherwise, like
if I mean, there's industrial level high end 3D printers that are phenomenal. Like we could do a really like.
There
is do something potential. I mean, it may be too expensive. Like it would be a special edition. I don't know. Yeah. Well, but it's a potential avenue that could bring these things back.
Yeah, and it's not going to be quite the same. Like we can't do like all the stuff that we've come to be known for through using Dwarvenite if we 3D print it necessarily.
No, but it would be a chance to do this as like a one-off.
Yeah, if it's something where it's like it's either we do it this way or we don't do it at all.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And we could try it, or I don't know. It's
3D printed.
It's a good idea. It's something to think about.
Selling 3D printed instead of resin we can get behind. Yeah, we're definitely not going to move like our full product into 3D printing.
No.
Like,
well, who knows? I mean, who knows what happens 10 years from now, right? That could be just the future of like whatever. Actually, the other thing you can do. Jay was just at this whatever that 3D printing conference was. You can 3D print short-run molds. So instead of tooling it, you 3D print it. So there's a potential. So you scan it, make the negative, 3D print a mold, and then run the resin that way or something like. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who would be doing it, whatever. But there's some other. There's evolving technology, so there may be some way to pull some stuff out of the vault.
Yeah.
Hey, it's 9 o'clock.
It is 9 o'clock.
Go to the vault.
Have we covered everything?
I think
that
so.
we intended?
We talked about stretch goals. We showed the such a thing. We had a couple of good ideas.
Yeah.
But we'll always be back next week if we miss something.
People were testing the Reaper minis by throwing them against the walls and tile floors and weren't breaking them.
Hey,
that's exciting.
Do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's all of it.
Yeah, that's all for now.
We need to remember to run this thing by. You remember to run Rocky Elevation by Tyler. We got to figure out.
Yeah, we got a bunch of I got some discoveries tonight. We got some stuff to point out, but I think we're fundamentally the core of the offer. I think we have a good plan for what we want to do. Hopefully, we can pull it off.
We didn't talk about Zelda at all.
Oh yeah, did you get it at midnight?
Yeah.
Tyler,
I went to a midnight release with Tyler and his girlfriend because she had never done a midnight release before. She's really nervous about not getting it, and we were trying to get collector's editions.
Yeah.
Because the collector's editions went immediately. So we went to the place instead of going to Nintendo World or whatever. We went to the GameStop I went to when I lived in a place for 9 years because it was this place was always really quiet. So we went and we were there were 20, 25 people who went at all. And we went and we hung out there for a while, and the guy was doing trivia. It was just us and a couple other people in there. So he's just reading out Zelda trivia, and the GameStop employee was reading it.
Did you just crush every?
So most of the questions were nothing. Most of the questions were just extremely base level, oh, where do the games take place? And stuff like that. It's
Hyrule.
Hyrule. Yeah, it's stuff like that.
I get it.
But then there were some really bizarre deep pulls. But it was funny because he hadn't played any Zelda before, so he just didn't know what any of it was. He didn't know how to pronounce any of the names or anything. It was very funny.
That's awesome.
So we did that midnight release, and we got the copy, and we got the special controllers they were doing and stuff. We got this nice wooden plaque that I'm gonna drill holes in so I can mount it on my wall because it really fits the aesthetic of what I'm trying to do. And then in the morning, Jeff actually in the Discord tagged people. He's hey, a bunch of collector's editions just went up on Amazon. So I told Tyler, and I went and got it. We both then got collector's editions. So then I gave my normal copy to Miles.
Yay!
Yeah.
Zelda for all.
Yeah. So we managed to get
It's amazing.
Speaking roll. Well, here's the embarrassing thing. The new president of Nintendo of America, Doug Bowser.
His name's Bowser.
His name's literally Bowser.
He's the villain from their. Okay.
Yes, he tweeted out his a thing thanking people for buying Tears of the Kingdom, and he was hope you all enjoy your adventures in Highland. It's
nice, nailed it, stuck the landing.
Man,
just really.
Come on, is performance on the Switch as bad as it seems? Performance has been great for me. There's moments if you have a lot of explosions going off, the frame rate will drop a little bit, but it hasn't been an issue. It's if you were fine with Breath of the Wild, it runs just like Breath of the Wild. So yeah.
Well, speaking of
runs,
land, speaking of going to sleep,
more like Byland.
Bye.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody. We'll be tomorrow night. What are you guys doing on Hobby Hang?
It's Shatterpoint.
Shatterpoint.
We're basically going to be painting Shatterpoint as much as we can until
August.
until it's time to do
Forge
we
Report.
want to try and do a Shatterpoint Forge Report for
awesome.
this Wildlands campaign.
Woo!
So yeah.
Well, tomorrow night at Hobby Hang. We'll be back next week. I don't know what we're doing next week, but we'll be here 7 to 9.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out.
That's next week. It's the week after that is the one right before Pledge Manager closes.
Yeah, Pledge Manager farewell.
Yeah, we'll think of something for next week.
Yeah.
All right.
A week away. That's next week's problem.
Yeah, it's so hot in here.
Woo! It is. Spicy lights.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.